Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid, rules could be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. You also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep. So I do look at everything, but we take a lot more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they play it as karmic themes to help you understand why everything's playing out the way that it is, why your person deliberately tries to trigger you. What is the spiritual significance of the connection? Or why does this person continually sabotage the connection? A lot of times we have a lot of questions aside from whether or not the person's going to come back because we already know that they're going to come back. We don't understand why they do what they do. And a lot of times we don't even know how to handle the situation because of how it makes us feel. So again, the readings are to help you heal because when you're in a connection with someone that is wounded, they can wound you. That's why. So you don't want to, you know, you don't want to deal with the person from that level of consciousness because when you're wounded, you're going to come from a lower state consciousness, more of a survival state. Now you're not going to be looking at how you're making this person feel or anything like that. You're going to be more on the defense. So that alone creates problems. So when you're able to see things from a much higher perception, it just means that you're seeing things through the lens of unconditional love, which allows you to change your habits, your behaviorisms, so that you could shape shift the energy. And that's what's important because there's many different realities that play it at one time. If you keep noticing that you're keep living the same type of karmic experience, that you're stuck in a karmic loop of victimization or betrayal or just a place of disempowerment, well, then you know that you need to heal. And that the way that the universe helps us heal is by bringing us people, our soulmates. So, again, the readings are here to help you, not just within your relationships, but heal the effects of trauma to help you evolve into the highest state of consciousness so you can be the energy of unconditional love, which is your natural born energy. What happens is we're born into the world and the world is in balance. So we form, habits and behaviorisms to counteract that perceived imbalance that, is making us feel a certain way. All right. The word of the video is fanatical. Fanatical. I feel like you're in connection with someone that tends to be someone that when they like something, they really like it, almost to like the obsessive point. And I'm feeling like this person's been thinking about you a lot, but I feel like hasn't moved towards you. And there's like almost like they feel like they need to like control everything to make the connection like so you give this person another chance is what I'm feeling like. This person feels like they need to be able to come in and like really like become your everything. They're so obsessive. And again, they will either really like something or they don't like anything at all. And I feel like when you were dealing with this person, they acted like they didn't like you at all. So now they're going the opposite way. We're seeing a very strong second chakra imbalance, where again, this person has problems in relationships, and that's because they're always trying to strategize the relationship. You can't strategize the relationship. You have to be in a place of unconditional love. If you have to be in a place of love. Otherwise, if you're continually strategizing, well, you're creating issues over time. So like I said, this person's is like fanatical over this connection all of a sudden. There's someone that went from like showing absolutely no interest to I feel like they're going to show you all this interest, but there's a lot of manic energy, there's a lot of nervous energy that's behind this fanatical. So, like it said, if you can definitely feel like obsessive energy. So that's that you might say, I don't feel like this person's doing anything. Well, I feel like they're ruminating on it a lot. It's almost like this energy of you and this person being in separation is becoming so overwhelming for this person that it's taking on a life force onto itself, is why I feel like this person is becoming fanatical about you, but to an obsessive, you know, perception, almost like they have to do something. Okay, so they went from one extreme to another. And we're going to look at your triggers. And they didn't give you attention. What it did was they would go for long periods of time without talking to you. I feel like they came in and out of your life. But if you said something that they didn't like, or if you did something that they didn't like, they just wouldn't talk to you. Again, would stonewall you, which is emotional abuse. And I feel like the avoidance, the avoidance of this person, just like there's a problem, I'm not going to talk to you. Like anything that emotionally that you needed from this person, they just avoided. Like they didn't want to build an emotional connection. They didn't want to have that. And that you felt like this person would treat you almost like a child, where they would like lash out at you for no apparent reason. And I feel like anytime you would have an opinion and you would, you know, kind of like stand your ground, this person would try to bully you back down. And they would either do that through stonewalling you, which is avoidance, by the way. It's just a cruel way to avoid, because it's like you're cutting off all emotional ties, everything. And that's what this person liked to do. They like to emotionally manipulate. They like to, again, dominate by emotionally manipulating. There's someone that thinks that they're very smart, because there's someone that calculates, there's someone that strategizes. So again, when you would stand your ground, shows a certain type of confidence. Well, again, then this person would get triggered and they would lash out. And then what would happen is that this person would then get all nervous, like the relationship, like they sabotage the relationship, where they would become almost like very dominating and like obsessive, where they wanted to like control you. Like that's what it felt like, but it was their fear that you were going to leave them, but it made you feel like that you couldn't breathe, because you're like, this person doesn't allow me to have a life. Like either I'm with them and I'm giving up everything that I want, and it's just about what they want and making themselves happy. Otherwise, I get yelled at, or it's that they're not in my life at all. Like they're punishing me, they're stonewalling me. So it's either like these extremes of, which is intermittent manipulation, which is um, training you, trying to train you to become subservient to what they want. So this is why they tend to be very obsessive. There's someone that once they like someone, they really like you. Now, what I'm feeling is in the beginning of this connection, this person became so obsessive about controlling you that they ignored the connection, which explains why they want to, again, if they're going to come back, they're going to be, again, fanatical. It's going to be over the top. That's, you may think that fanatical is something that's positive, but usually it's seen in a very negative light. It's someone that has like over the top. So think of someone that's extremely religious, like a holy roller, someone that's like really religious, that every person that they get around, they ram it down your throat, their belief, to the point that you're like, well, that's not really my belief. Like, you're not allowed an opinion. It's obsessive and it's controlling and it's manipulative, but it's all fear-based. And so again, what do? They ignored you, which is all the same thing. It's like, it's either they stonewalled you, avoided you, ignored you, or you felt like you couldn't breathe and they were screaming at you. So it was all like tactics, but that's because this person's wounded. They don't have a strong sense of self. And when a person doesn't have a strong sense of self, what do? They look at the person that they're with and they're watching everything that they do and they're judging them by how little they're doing for them a lot of times because the person doesn't know how to fill up their cup. So because they don't know how to fill up their cup and you know how to fill up your cup, they're going to expect you to fill up their cup. And they're doing it in a way where it's like, I do have feelings for you, but in the case that I do have feelings for you, I'm going to be so controlling. I'm going to be so smothering. And then when you don't do what I want, well, then I'm going to punish you. I'm going to throw a temper tantrum and I'm going to punish you. And so I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable. So what you see is when you're in a relationship with this person is that their mood is going to like affect your day potentially if you're around this person. That's the way that they want it to be. There's someone that dominates, and they dominate because of a lack of, I don't really believe that you're going to stay here with me. And that they're wounded. That's why they experienced abandonment, but they don't realize by putting so much energy and effort into you, they're abandoning themselves. But this is why it was all about controlling. You got tired of it. You're like, I am tired of this. So I'll actually look and see what this person really feels. And it wouldn't be uncommon to see their feelings be all over the place. But what they think and what they feel, especially if they're wounded, and then we'll look and see what they're doing now, like what they're going to do, and then the spiritual significance of the whole point of the connection. Things got too intense for me, so I ran away from you. Again, like you go deep, you're too confident. And this person's insecure. So if I'm going to let my guard down, you're not really going to like me. So I'm not going to be able to control my feelings because, again, when it's love, you can't control feelings, but this person's used to being able to control their feelings. They're used to being able to strategize. And, because there's somebody that gets caught up in the lust part of things, the relationship usually goes super fast anyway. So this person usually doesn't worry. With you, they worry because you're someone different altogether. There's an emotional bond there. And so when you feed an emotional bond, it's only going to get stronger. And so that's why it became so intense. You left a mark on my heart that I won't forget. Like this person, like I believe is trying to get over you. I think that, again, their logical, analytical mind is looking for a problem. They're looking for a problem. Like it's too good to be true. Listen, if they find fault with you, then they don't have to change, right? And so the person's afraid. That's why they did everything that they did in the connection. They sabotaged the connection because there's no sense of self and they don't feel good about themselves because of it. I mean, do they know that? No. They just look and say, I don't have enough. So again, they're basing their life on their job. They're basing the life on the house that they live, the car that they drive. They're judging themselves. And then they're looking at you and they're looking at other people and they're judging themselves instead of watering their own garden. And that's the problem. They become so overstimulated. So again, the need to control, the need to not get in that deep. because you'll hurt me. Oh, but you can't control love. So this person is still like thinking about it. I can't change who I am to be who you need. So again, this person knows that they're wounded. On a spiritual note, there's a sense that that they need to be in control. They need to be with someone on a lower vibration. I feel like this person, there is a very strong spiritual connection because no one's supposed to stay in a lower vibration. This means that this person says, I need to be with someone that gives me attention and I don't have to give them attention. I need to be with someone that dotes on me, but I'm not really going to dote on them. I need to be a part of your world, but you're not really going to be a part of my world because I don't really have a world. So you can see how it's very imbalanced. Instead of this person creating a life, they say, well, it's too difficult to be in your life because I would actually have to raise my vibration and do those things. So it's just easier to be with someone that I don't have to change. I don't have to do all that for. However, it's like it's left a mark on this person. So it's like they feel like they can't change. I have things to deal with before I can love again. But they do have a connection to you that they've never had before. And that's the issue. There's a part of this person that's like, they know that they need healing. They know what they would have to do in order to be with you because you probably said it. You're like, listen, I need to be with someone that has a job. I need to with someone that, has a car. Like, I don't want to like chauffeur you around. You need to get your life together. And they also see by your life that you have your life together and they don't. So it's making them feel like that there's something wrong. They're having a pity party for themselves. It's easier to stay in a lower vibration, but it's not going to be satisfying. And that's what this person is going to realize, and they already feel empty. So what you're going to see is a person that goes from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship and trying to fill that void. And then after the relationship's done, then it's going to be other things like buying, hiding behind material things. We're not our things. We're not our relationship. We can have a relationship and that enhances our life. We can have a soulmate twin flame that helps us step into the best version of ourselves. This is not that. This is a person that's like, I don't I don't want to have to do it. Like they literally strategize. Is it worth it for me to do it? No, but they're stupid because what happens on the spiritual realm, you're not going to see like the consequences of not listening to the higher self, like until it's too late. Because everything that happens in the spiritual realm happens long before it actually manifests in the physical realm. So when we get intuition that warns us about something, we're getting that advice in a long time in advance to help us set up. Because again, we all have discernment. So again, that you're too strong for this person. You'd always knock heads. And it's because of their lack. And so there would be a sense again that this person seized you out because, hey, I feel like you're compassionate. I feel like you have a lot of empathy, that sensitive. Well, it's again, that means that you'd be so caught up in them and not caught up in what you need for you. And so again, this connection is like no other because it has the potential for them to step it up. But by them doing what's easier, well, they jeopardize the connection, which is why we say, well, what are they doing now? And it's like, again, they're in a place of disempowerment, is what Spirit says. Again, they're burdened by how they treated you. And of course, there's more avoidance. This is what this person is doing. and just very risky behavior. So that's what they're doing right now. They're not really doing anything. The risky behavior, I feel like it's telling a lot of other people, again, like from living like this, they have burdens from other previous situations, which again makes them feel bound, feels like, again, I can't do anything. They stay in a victim state. I can't change who I am, to accommodate you. Like, it's like, why can't you? It's like, it wouldn't be to just accommodate, you, Virgo. It's for them to accommodate themselves. They don't love themselves, that they don't value themselves. And so spirit brings soulmates into our life to teach us, to help heal us. But the healing does not mean that you come in and you say, oh, let me heal you. It's the fact that they love you. The way that you make them feel makes them do it. This person is like, well, I'm going to gamble the fact that I'm probably not going to feel anything. And that's why, again, but they do, because they wouldn't need to avoid and suppress, to numb themselves and then make excuses, but then no one wants to stay in a place of disempowerment. So they made a self-fulfilling prophecy come true. This is self-sabotaging behaviorisms. So we have to say, again, what are they going to do about it? But what we see is that they're really not going to, even if they came back, the relationship would be empty, but most likely they would go back to betrayal because this person is too afraid of rejection. So it's almost like, I'm going to reject you before you reject me. You wouldn't be allowed to use your voice. Because again, you'd be tapped into this person's anxiety all the time. They give you anxiety because again, they feel inadequate. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. This person is used to and what this person is comfortable with is contracts, like a karmic contract. That's what, like when two people are together that don't really want to be together. It's that love and hate, there's such a fine line, and that's because like the karmic contract is one person is emotionally getting everything where the other person isn't. And that it's like you're a slave to it, but nobody's really happy with anybody. It's like after a while, the person that's getting the emotion and from the person that they're with that has pretty much given up their, identity because they're not allowed to have a voice. They're not allowed to be themselves confident without this person getting triggered. So they give up themselves. So eventually what happens is the connection's held together with guilt, manipulation and guilt. But then it's an empty connection where then the person's going to cheat and they're going to do other things outside of themselves to fill themselves, which you saw that and you were like, I'm not getting in a connection with you unless you do X, Y, Z. And this person was like, well, again, I don't need to do all that. And they don't. But so that means that they stay in their old habits. But there's karmic consequences for that. Because a person can't live with illusions and being lazy. Again, because they have fear of change. Nothing good comes from that. They just stay in a place of fear. And we know when we're vibrating at an energy of fear, then everything that's in alignment with that consciousness is what we're going to manifest. So this person has tons of self-sabotaging behaviorisms. They're going to be very controlling. They're going to be very dominant. They're going to be, every little thing's going to trigger them. And you would be somebody that was always trying to fix them and heal them and dim your light in order to not trigger this person. And you're not going to manifest anything good. They wouldn't allow it. Again, because they don't want to do what it takes to heal, even though they say this is a connection, they know it. But in that, they would have to let go and they would have to be vulnerable to actually let you in. And that's not going to happen unless they do all the other work. Getting strong within yourself allows you to be vulnerable. even if you've gotten hurt before. If you're strong within yourself, then you have discernment. It's like this person thinks, well, I'm just going to avoid love altogether. And the way that they do it now is through suppression. So they're drunk all the time, or they're wasted all the time, and they're just not thinking about it. Trying to fill it with other people and situations to try and not change. And so nothing good can come from that. So you say, why did you attract this person into your life? You look at the inner child cards, and it's again safety and security, abuse, cleansing, loner, rage, and dance. Wow. It's like pretty much self-explanatory. It's like, well, you didn't feel safe and secure because you were raised by somebody that was abusive to you psychologically and emotionally. So you identify a little bit with that energy with love, because again, a parent that was like that. And so we can't help the parent that we love. We can say, no, I hate that parent, but you still love that parent because you wouldn't hate them. Hate means that you're still holding on to them and you wouldn't want to even hold on to them. You wouldn't feel anything at all. And so that thing is again, this person didn't give you the security, didn't make you feel safe. They were abusive, and it created a lot of anger inside of you, making you feel like you needed to be alone. It created a lot of trust issues. You had major trust issues. Because when the first person that's supposed to, love you, they're teaching you your attachment style. And this attachment style was, again, to really be anxious, to really attract someone that was anxious, avoidant. When you're like anxious and like have fear of abandonment. And so the dynamic of the connection of childhood created that imprint. And so again, you needed cleansing from it. And you've always been able to cleanse your energy because you didn't adapt to a lot of the habits and behaviorisms that your mother or father had, even though they did this to you. I feel like you were always able to cleanse yourself, but the imprint still had remained, and that's because you needed to go through a situation that was very similar to embody the new consciousness. And that was through your own dance, the way that we go with the flow of life, that life is a dance, but it's also, we have to again tap into our intuition. And I just feel like you were able to go with the flow. You were able to cleanse your energy because you did do this and detach with love. You don't have animosity. This person's sad there, but they refuse to admit that they're sad because they're again suppressing their emotion. They're like, no, I don't want to change it. But they wouldn't be again so avoidant if they knew that it wasn't, wrong. They wouldn't need to suppress their feelings if they were doing the right thing. And again, which is not even the right thing just for you, but for them to heal themselves, to do what's best for them. They don't love themselves enough, so they can't love you. And so that's the message that Spirit is saying, is like the person that raised you, that abused you, they didn't love themselves. So they couldn't love you. It's like, so it was to cleanse it and look at the situation from a different perception so that you could let go. So you can actually go with the flow better because of the flow of life, right? I mean, it's a dance. And it's a dance that you do with spirit, the universe, because the universe is always bringing the people, the situations, and the experiences that change your mind and your heart. The universe is always conspiring to help you, to heal, to revert back to the energy of unconditional love. And that energy was blocking you. So Spirit says that you needed to see it through a different perception. This person does love, but they're broken. And this is what it would be. It wouldn't be any better, just like with your mom or your dad that was that way. It's that parent that was that way. It's like, again, that's the way it was. It wasn't, there was no right or wrong. It was a spiritual situation. It was, yes, you were born into that. Maybe, again, feel unfair, but it brought you gifts, brought you gifts to the point that you know how to cleanse yourself, that you have very healing energy. And Spirit says now it's about being clear enough to go on your soul's calling, to listen to the whispers of your soul guiding you, aligning your actions to your values, always in the higher state of consciousness. Always everything is derived from unconditional love, what's best for everyone. So again, it's to be able to listen to the higher self and be guided. And then Spirit says, again, to release the limiting beliefs that no longer serve you. Again, growing up in that environment where you were abused, well, you're going to form core beliefs. There's going to be perceptions, especially when we keep on attracting people that we feel are trying to sabotage us or hurt us. And, again, we've conditioned ourselves to look for that. That's the reptilian mind. Spirit says you needed to embody the new consciousness so you would actually see the situation from a different perception, one that's not keeping you in a place of disempowerment, but one that's actually like is helping you to see it through the lens of unconditional love, which you have to when the situation is like that. Just doesn't make sense. It's just a shitty situation, just straight across the board between the parent that was abusive, that was sick. So the person didn't grow up with a parent. They never experienced that unconditional love, that bond. Instead of feeling safe, they felt like they needed to survive, and then just continue to repeat that down to attracting a person that's holding this energy, the spirit saying, this is what it looks like. This person would love to, but they can't. And that's because they're not strong enough. They're too fearful. You have to be a warrior to actually do your spiritual healing. This person's not strong. And Spirit says it's again, and that you have guardian angels. It's know that you are protected and guided by unforeseen forces. The way is open to you that to move forward, to not stay connected, that you're God divinely protected because you did the right thing. And that divine work through you, the higher self gave you that intuition, that's perception, that's discernment. And if this person winds up, again, just continue to suppress, and they're not going to be able to live long if they continue to go like that either. And that's because, again, they're functioning through the lowest consciousness, through having to sedate themselves, to be there but not be present, to not feel. And we have to be able to feel in order to make the right decisions, balanced decisions. Belief, Spirit ends this off with. And Spirit says, believe in yourself, the beauty of life, the goodness of God. Have the power to fulfill your dreams. The will of the Almighty supports you. That your life is showered in divine light, and that your heart opens to the power of the universe. So Spirit saying, this is time to believe that you can make your dreams come true. So it's unfortunately, this might have felt like something really special, but it's it would wind up being a karmic, because they're not healed enough to come along with you. Not everybody can come along with us when we're on our journey. And Spirit said, you needed to cleanse this energy in order for me to work through you, because again, we are just energy. And when we're co-creating, the universe is air, it's prana. That's what God is. We don't know what it is because it's a consciousness, but it's the oxygen that we breathe, because God is ubiquitous. It's an energy. And so when you breathe in that oxygen, that breath is also known as spirit. Well, the energy works through you. So again, that oxygen brings, support and nutrients of all kinds and healing energies to all your organs and your tissues and your cells to help support you. When you're all blocked up, and tensed up, it makes it very difficult for that energy to work through you. This is when we say, oh, I went in for a massage, and then you get relaxed to make it easy. So Spirit's saying, when we clear those psychological and emotional blocks, we're actually helping to release the stress in the body. I mean, you still might need to go and get a massage, but the difference is that you get the massage or you train your body to relax, and then your body, you don't continually revert back to that the consciousness because you already healed it. But unfortunately, if you lived in a place of survival for a long period of time where you didn't trust, you can heal the mind, but you still have to heal the body because your body is your mind's faithful servant. So again, to recondition, the only difference, like I said, is you don't revert back ever, and once you heal, because the body and mind are self-healing organisms once you know what to do. And that Spirit says, when you're actually on your path, Spirit is bringing you things to help you revert back into your original energy. Love, unconditional love. I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated with this one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.